last time in 2014, just prior to that in 2013, the province had engaged on a big consultation with the public and with the students, trying to figure out what our next journey would be, how we were going to continue to drive deeper and get even more precise and more personalized. And the graphic that you're seeing here is actually what came out of the consultation with the students. Isn't it most important that the system we would be thinking about creating and putting into place would be what students feel they need and want and how they can learn best? And so you can see some of the things that came about as a result of the consultation with students. And all of that turned into the vision that we're currently following, where we have actually 4 goals. It was a much broader view of what we mean by educational excellence. So not just about achievement, but rather these other pieces like ensuring equity and promoting well-being. And much of our last 4 years has been very focused on this issue of well-being. We've come to understand that high achievement is great, but at some point you do hit the ceiling. If all your students aren't well, they can't possibly achieve well. And just because they achieve well doesn't mean they are well. And so in trying to get to this view of educating the whole person, we've really put a big focus on well-being. And of course, the public confidence is still there. Well, around that whole well-being piece, you can see the graphic on the left-hand side is the Ministry of Education's graphic around our understanding of well-being. And you'll see that self and spirit is positioned in the middle. And not everyone, not every culture thinks of self and spirit in the right way. And so when you're working in a very diverse system, it's important to think of what self and spirit means to all different kinds of people, all different kinds of students in our system. But what we do know is that it's made up of the physical, the cognitive, the emotional, and the social. We've put an equity secretariat in place to really help us drive forward with all of this, as well as a very aggressive equity action plan. And really the purpose is, you can see the quote at the bottom there, that every student should have the opportunity to succeed regardless of their background, their identity, or their personal circumstance. So it's going deeper with that statement that we will reach every student. And we're starting to get into now the difficult work, because we've reached the students that were relatively easy to reach, and now we're trying to reach those that haven't been so easy to reach. Well-being is now presented as a precondition for achievement. And so we've had a bunch of districts aggressively trying to figure this well-being piece out, and researchers looking at what they're doing and gathering up the best evidence that they can find. That vision of well-being is not what might be commonly considered with some of the large-scale assessments that are going on around the world. And so we really are trying to push far out with all of this. And it'll be interesting to see how other countries are picking up on this whole notion of well-being. What keeps us accountable? Well, we have a complex structure. We have 76 district school boards that sit within the province. And those range in size from one school all the way up to the Toronto District School Board, which is absolutely massive. Over 500, almost 600 schools in the Toronto District School Board. Their motto is every student, every school, every day. So again, you can see how that ministry mantra has kind of filtered down to the districts and then right down to the school level. Each one of those districts has a set of elected trustees, and the director in those districts are responsible to the elected trustees. So that's a layer of accountability. Each school has a school council, which is made up of parents, and they again are accountable to the trustee, but that's the principal's accountability to the community, basically. We also have the Education Quality Accountability Office that I actually worked in for a year. And that's the office that manages basically all of our provincial assessments, which are annual assessments. They're done for all students in grade 3, 6, and 9. Grade 3 and 6, it's reading, writing, and math. Grade 9, it's just math. And then in grade 10, there's a literacy assessment, which is a graduation requirement. So we do have a very robust set of provincial assessments. And there's people on both sides of the fence, whether we should have more or less, but that's what we have. They're going to be updated because they have been in place for quite a while. We also do participate in a number of international assessments, and we pay attention to those results and try to learn from them and learn from the reports. We all have to have annual district and school improvement plans, which again are shared with the trustees. And the principal is held to account for those. The principal does have, there's a performance appraisal system. A principal is formally appraised every 5 years and expected to have a performance plan in which they articulate what they are personally doing to move forward the goals of the school. So there's all different kinds of layers of accountability. What's really kind of exciting is that we've had a new report within the last year called Unlocking Student Potential Through Data. And in there, just to show you that we have lots more still to do, there are 47 recommendations. And a lot of those are around the equity and well-being pieces, further segregating the data that we've been using down into much smaller slices so that we can get a much better understanding of what that means for our practice and really personalizing it. We do well on all these assessments. You can see in the middle there that our graduation rates have gone up 22% since we started all of this work 15 years ago. So 86.5% of our students now graduate, but our goal is 100%, and we won't be happy until we're there.